Hello, I'm Dean Martin with Transmission Digest. Welcome to the TranStar Industries studios here at Babcock's Media.
It can be extremely disappointing to retain a job, do the work on it, put it back together, take it for a road test, and find out transmission doesn't work too good. That scenario could be just because of a lack of communication with the customer. Knowing the history of the vehicle, what has been done to it, is extremely important, especially if you're working on a 6R140 like the valve body I have here. When they made solenoids for the 6R140 to limit the scrap rate, you can have two basic types, a normally high or normally low, like you would have in previous transmissions. But what they did to limit the scrap rate is to come out with 5 different numbers of normally high or normally low based on the flow rate. So when they manufacture these, they test the flow rate and they mark the particular solenoid with a band number. And that band number can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. It's real important as production goes on, let alone if the transmission is repaired. Now this 6R140 valve body, fortunately, has soft wire. It's not a hard wire electrical connector like a 6R80. When they, in production, install all of the solenoids, depending on the band number, provides a specific flow rate for that valve train. When all that is captured, it's put into the system under a solenoid body strategy number. And what Ford does is to put this tag on the valve body. It's a 13-digit number to denote the strategy of all of these solenoids. There's also an 8-digit solenoid body ID number. This information is put 2 places. On the right side of the case, there is also a tag that's going to illustrate those 2 numbers, and this information is uploaded into the vehicle's PCM or TCM. The information is real important down the road because if someone happened to work on this transmission before the shop got it and either replaced one of these solenoids or worse yet was working on it and mixed these solenoids up, that's going to create a lot of problem because the computer is going to fire these solenoids based on the information that was put in there in production. The solenoids are not calibrated for that, therefore you're going to have a lot of drivability issues. So when you're rebuilding this transmission, you want to know, has anything been done previously? If there is, you need to take your scanner, hook it up, pull up the information. There is a program that will take you to the solenoid strategy part number and ID number so that you can validate what is in the computer is on this tag, as well as on the tag on the side of the case. And you can also go to a program that shows each band number. So for instance, when you look at a particular clutch apply valve train like SSA, B, C, line pressure, TCC, it will show you the band number that was in there initially for the strategy part number that's on the tag. When you go to replace this, whether you replace an individual solenoid, if you take out a number 3, put in a number 3. I know some people fudge a little bit. If you take out a 3, you put in a 2, you put in a 4, you might get by. If you take out a 2, put in a 5, good luck. So when an individual solenoid is changed, you put in the same number, not a problem. If you replace this valve body, the new information has to be uploaded into the computer. So you have to take a capable scanner, hook that up. You have to go online and download the relevant strategy and ID information to be able to upload it into the vehicle's computer so that it fires the solenoids based on the number that they are. If you don't do that, you're going to be having an uphill battle. Once that information has been uploaded and the transmission and the computer is in sync, you then have to do an adaptive drive cycle. And there is a procedure, we're actually going to have it on the screen, as to how to drive the vehicle. You have to do a certain garage shift routine, neutral drive, neutral reverse, and so on, as well as driving down the road, minimum throttle, moderate throttle, and so on. When you get a valve body, you will also have the information provided with that valve body. This has to be followed. If not, you can do the best rebuilding job ever, and the transmission is not going to work correctly. Some people may think, well, I can just drive this and it will eventually work out on the road. You can drive it and trash the transmission long before it works out on the road. So when you do a 6R140, first validate that the information that's here is correct. If you do replacements of solenoids or the complete valve body, make sure that information is uploaded into the computer properly. And if you do that, the transmission should work well. I'm Mike Riley. Thanks for watching. See you next time.